there's a few things in our world that don't escort us, that don't guide us the way nature shows us to in a corporal manner, material, food, sex, family, but rather in a more internal, spiritual manner, which is in the plan of nature. That is what the circumcision is about, is rooted in. Because actually, this is not a tradition. It's some kind of inner connection of a person to his correction, to his ability to be, at least somehow, be prepared to connect with others. Because even though we do it with our mother and father, and we're also crying and happy, it's a very it really gives you the shivers, the ceremony, along with happiness, joy. But it's a ritual of entry, being part of the nation. That's on the one hand. So it's correct that it guides us throughout all of history, from Abraham and onward. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, we need to understand that it's just an external symbol, a bodily symbol, that points to the inner correction that we need to do to cut the orlat lev, the foreskin, which is called that because our heart symbolizes for us all a person's desires. And our desires are all egoistic. A person's heart is bad from birth. So if we cut part of the foreskin, it's that same part that we're not capable of connecting with others that's disturbing us from being in connection. Therefore, when we verify this connection with others, in that we are taking out the part that's not capable of being in connection, that's disturbing us to be in connection, and we decide that we don't use it. We decide not to use it. It's really like that. That's the order of connection. Just like each of us in our family life, there's things that we have in the family, but we don't talk about, like things that we leave inside. We don't want to mention them. All crimes will be covered with love. The main thing that there's love, and inside each one, what can we do? That's what we're like. So here it's the same thing. We can't cut from our desires and throw them into the dirt, but rather we cut them as if we're cutting them because we can't connect them, and we take them into account as being thrown into the dust. That there's no significance in my eyes, just like dirt. Because all my importance is to those desires that do allow me to connect with others, all the hearts that will be able to connect to one heart, as one man with one heart. And that is actually the verification that we need to do in a circumcision. Therefore, it's clear that a circumcision, it's not mommy and daddy doing it when we're still a little piece of meat, that they bring it on the 8th day to the circumcision, but rather, truly, we arrive at a state where we're prepared. Like now in our history, we reach a state where we have to get into an agreement between us, a Brit, where it's clear to us, where after many verifications and a long path, and to get into this connection between us, we have to filter all our desires one by one, see where we're prepared, we're not prepared to connect with others. We have to classify our desires to see at what depth and what strength. And there's desires like those same Lamed Bet Ritzonot. That's why it's called Lev, heart. I think it's 32. There's in a person Shach Ritzonot, of which Lamed Bet are not worthy of being connected. They're very egoistic. That's why they're called Leva Even, the heart of stone, a heart like stone. Lamed Bet, desires, is the heart of stone. And it's those desires that we differentiate from the others. We consider them as dirt. That's the foreskin after it's been cut. We put it in soil, and that's it. And all the other desires are ready and worthy for connecting between us. And this connection is a connection in the other desires that are Shach minus the Leva Even, and these desires are Rabach. Rabach sparks, Aaron's, that's talking about empathy, that with the rest of the desires, we can do an act of empathy with others, compassion. With those I can bestow, I can connect, I can love, I can understand my fellow man. With these desires, I can give place in myself for others. And I can also, with those same desires, get into others and help them into a mutual connection. That's the whole point. But the problem is that we have to do all these acts on their own, and not that somebody's doing them to us. Like with this symbol, that we do it to the newborn baby. And that's already a person who's reached awareness, understanding of the purpose of human development, and the role of the Jewish people in this. And then he understands that we are obligated to do this first and be as a light unto the nations, to show them the connection. And the connection is through us, first and foremost, cutting the foreskin from our heart and being prepared for a good connection. And this is how, and therefore, even though this verification isn't simple, we see that we reached it by many unpleasant events throughout history. But now we understand what for and why, what's ahead of us. Then we're starting to be happy and see that all this was just to bring all of humanity to a good state, and first of all, the people of Israel, to raise them to a height. And the first act in this is the circumcision. That's why it's called a Brit, an agreement, a covenant.